Hello everyone, back again with Story Recap. Before we get to storyline, I wish all happy and great day. At the beginning of the film, we get to know two characters, Dominika and Nate. Each of them was at home. Dominika was listening to the music and Nate was listening to a voice message. The message was encrypted and he was trying to decrypt it. Then he takes a weapon he had hidden under the table. Then we watch Dominika arrive on stage and prepare for her ballet dancer show. The ballet begins at the same time that CIA agent Nate is walking in the park. He was going to meet a Russian agent. When Nate saw the police car coming towards them, he tried to distract them from the Russian agent and fired randomly. The police chased him through the city streets until he reached the American embassy. In the ballet show, Dominika was performing a great performance, but suddenly she was injured and her leg was broken after her colleague in the show collided with her. At the same time, Nate is arrested in front of the American embassy. After she is discharged from the hospital, her uncle Ivan, the head of the Russian intelligence service, visits her. He offered her to work with them and made attractive offers for her to agree. He also gives her pictures of her colleague in the ballet theater with another girl named Sonia, who has taken her place in the ballet show. She was certain that what she was exposed to was an intentional act, and that it was her colleague who wanted to break her leg so that Sonia could come instead of her. So she decided to take revenge on them. She went to the ballet theater and found them there in the changing rooms. She beat them with a stick until they lost consciousness. When she got home, she found her mother in the bathroom, lying down and unable to move. She decides that the best thing to do is to agree to work with her uncle and provide good care for her mother. After that, she wears a beautiful dress and carries out her uncle's instructions. Her mission was to seduce a person named Dmitry and get more information about him. But when she entered the room with him, he tried to assault her. At the same moment, a Russian intelligence agent arrives and kills him. Then the intelligence agent takes Dominika out of the place. She was sure that they would kill her because she was the only witness to the murder, and she had only one solution, which was to join the Russian intelligence in order to save her life. After that, she goes to train to become a professional spy. There she meets Matron, who is the person supervising Dominika's training. She told her that if she couldn't serve her country, she would kill her herself. Training begins. Matron orders Dominika and another person to take off their clothes. The man immediately takes off his clothes, but Dominika refuses. At the same time, Nate returned to his country, America, and he was summoned to the CIA, and they told him that he had been excluded from performing tasks outside the country. But he refused because he was dealing with a Russian agent who was working for him and spying in Russia, where he told them that the Russian agent would not trust anyone other than him. Meanwhile, Dominika continues her training in the use of weapons, how to open locks, and all things related to espionage. Several days later, Nate is called again. He tells them that he is sure that his Russian agent is still alive. The CIA could not communicate with him because he only trusts Nate. Nate is assigned one last mission outside the country, and his mission was to meet the Russian agent in Budapest to convince him to deal with another agent. After a period of time passed, the cultivators finally knew their goal. One day, when Dominika was taking a shower, suddenly one of the trainees came to her and tried to assault her, but she was able to stop him and hit him. After that, the Russian intelligence service, including Ivan and General Korchony, know that the American Secret Service has made a plan, and that Nate will communicate in Budapest with the Russian agent they want to capture. They decided to send an agent to Budapest to find out the identity of the spy. Dominika was in a quarrel with Matron, and this was because she did not obey her orders. Dominika is assigned the task of going to Budapest and getting close to Nate in order to find out information about the identity of the Russian spy who is communicating with him. She travels to Budapest and meets Marta, who was also a Russian spy. She begins her mission to monitor Nate and get close to him, but he quickly discovers that she is a Russian spy. One day, when Dominika was alone in the apartment, she entered Marta's room. She discovered that she is in a relationship with a Russian agent in a high position in the US government. Her name is Boucher. One day, Nate invited Dominika to dinner, and he was waiting for her at the restaurant, but she didn't come, so he left. She was waiting for him outside the restaurant and followed him until he reached his apartment. She asked him why the police were chasing him while he was in Russia. Dominika then contacts her uncle Ivan to tell him that she has gained Nate's trust and that she has information about what happened in Russia. But Ivan was angry that she was not doing her job as quickly, but she told him that she was helping Marta in her mission. While returning to the apartment, she finds Marta murdered in the bathroom because she leaked information about the mission. There was someone in the apartment threatening Dominika that if she failed to carry out the task, her fate would be the same as Marta's. After that, she went to Nata and told him everything. He offered her to work with the CIA. Already she agrees to this. She is put on a polygraph. She passes the test. She asked them for money in exchange for informing them of a Russian agent working in a high position in the American government. Her first mission was to meet Boucher instead of Marta, where she had to give her classified information about the US government. After completing her mission, she is arrested by the Russian government and returned to Russia again. They interrogate her about her connection to the case of the US government, knowing Boucher's identity. But she refused to confess despite the severe torture she faced. They were about to kill her, until Ivan came and told her that he would provide her complete protection if she confessed. She tells him that all of this was her plan, and that she had to get the CIA to believe her, and she had to get Nate to trust her. She asked Ivan to allow her to return to complete her mission, and indeed he agreed. Once she returns to Budapest, she meets Nate and goes home with him. When she woke up, she didn't find Nate by her side. She goes to look for him, but is surprised that a Russian agent is torturing Nate. She is shocked, but she pulls herself together and helps the Russian agent in torturing Nate. She severely tortures Nate, which makes the Russian agent trust her. But as soon as the Russian agent turns around, she punches him and unties Nate. They were able to eliminate the Russian agent, despite suffering severe injuries. Dominka now has nothing to defend herself against the Russian intelligence. Russian General Korchnoi visits her in the hospital and tells her that he is the spy working for America. He told her that he was impressed with her performance and asked her to arrest him in order to take his position in Russia. Thus, she will become a secret agent for America within the Russian government. After she reported the Russian secret agent, the Americans and the Russians make an exchange between their spy agents. Nate was surprised at how Dominika was able to expose the Russian agent to the Russian government. Nate tells her that the Russian government will not allow them to take the Russian agent and that they will kill him. She tells him that later he will understand what she did. He tells her that they don't give up on their clients easily. The exchange process begins between the Russian agent and Dominika. When the cover is lifted from the Russian agent, it turns out that he is Dominika's uncle Ivan, where she implicated him by placing Nate's fingerprints in his home and also opened an account in Vienna in the name of her uncle. She made the US government transfer the money to Ivan's account. He looked at her with a look of despair and told her that she had killed him. Indeed, he is killed before he is handed over to the American government. Dominika is then honored in Russia, and General Korchnoi is among the dignitaries present at her honor. At home, she gets a call, hears music, and smiles, because this is the piece of music she told Nate she loved. Don't forget to support me with the like and subscribe buttons. Stay tuned for more film recaps.